This podcast is sponsored by Camera Museum of London and Tang Cigars at 44 Museum Street, London. Welcome to a Fish Out of Water podcast. This is your host Richard Lipman. Today we're interviewing Shiri Zinn. This is part two of this podcast. Okay, Shiri, thank you for Fish Out of Water podcast. Tell me, what are your future plans?
Oh, you're not going to start with that. I'm not a few. You're not going to start with that. Can we put that last, that question?
No, I want to put it first.
No, I really no. Whoa, that's like a daunting question. Ask me about sex toys. Sorry.
I don't use sex toys. I know nothing about sex toys.
Me neither.
What do you know about other brands and other sex toys? I know that Rocco Siffredi. Listen, I know this Rocco Siffredi modeled, or a company modeled his penis, and it was being sold. What do you know about other people's sex toys?
No, I so don't. I'm sorry, I'm very self-absorbed with my designs. We start with my choker. This is one of my best.
No. I'm not advertising. This is not an advert here or a promotion. This is a podcast.
You going to ask for my bestseller?
That comes later. Okay. This is not a celebration. This is not a celebration type podcast. This is a podcast about insight and knowledge and dialectics and all sorts. So, okay, Shiri. So again, right? So tell us what you know about your competition and other sex toys in the market. I know that Rocco Siffredi modeled a dildo after his penis, and I'm assuming that had a fair amount of success. Maybe not.
I don't know who the fuck Rocco Siffredi is. And I'm not sure if he's a designer of sex toys or if he just modeled
Rocco Siffredi is an Italian porn star. He's very famous.
Oh, that's definitely not a designer of sex toys. Sorry, that's just a porn star. Move on.
He got another company to do it. What do you know about your competition, sex toy designers?
I did inspire Lalo to begin with. In the very early days, they were inspired by me. We used to sit in groups when we used to all meet in Germany, which is great. I know the original designer very well, Eric, who's no longer, he was bought out by the company. He did all the designs, but I don't compare myself at all. You know, I was at St. Martin's and we were doing, I was doing my BA. I hid away completely should I make my screen bigger? Will that make a difference? Let me make my screen bigger. Yeah, I don't know if that will affect the lighting. And I hid away for 3 months. The teacher locked me down because I was like the teacher's pet until I did that. And I'm just not interested in other competition. And I'm quite reclusive. I like to keep my ideas to myself until they're fully formed. That's very, very important. A lot of very famous artists said that. Like Dali and many, many artists, just until it keeps the power with you and until you're ready to release a collection, which can be even 2 years. It can be as long as that. So no, I'm not really interested in the competition. Know what the hell they're doing. Is that bad? That's me.
Has there been moments where you've had an idea and it's never come to fruition?
No, I will always fulfill them if I think it's strong enough. If I'm excited by it, that idea, if it takes 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, a lot of my collections I thought of 10 years earlier, but I only got around to actually producing them. Honestly, if something is in my head, it usually comes out, even if it takes years. I'm quite a slow designer.
What do your parents think about your job as a sex toy designer?
Well, my dad totally supports it. He's my biggest champion. My mom is my muse because she's frigid ballerina, ballet teacher, which was my muse. Her frigidity actually spewed me on more than anything.
What about your friends? Do your
She
friends?
disapproves. She
What?
disapproves.
They disapprove.
No, my mother.
She disapproves.
Oh, totally. She's my biggest
Can you give us
muse.
an example of how she disapproves?
Uh, it's not that positive, but I'll tell you, for example, I had a whole lot of free publicity. I'm talking full spreads in Cosmo, Tatler, full pages in GQ, Arena, the whole thing. French Health, everything. Big, thick booklet. And I brought it home 1 year to Cape Town because I was in England, London at the time, and to show her my achievements. And I remember she had a boyfriend at the time from Liverpool, and not that she's had many boyfriends at all, one after she divorced. And he said, "Do not upset your mother like that again with such a booklet." Okay, this is a whole lot of free publicity worth thousands and thousands, and but whatever. What can I say?
How do you get free publicity?
You become the first of what you do. I was the very first, as I said in the last part of the talk. I was the first in the arena and the area of fashion as a very serious fashion student at St. Martin's doing my. I was the first ever in the world, along with Tom Dixon, who was commissioned by Myla, very different to me not being commissioned. We were at the same time to do designer sex toys. And when you do designer sex toys, which weren't by their style alone a different category to just turning out millions of rabbits and God knows what, something separate, you get a whole lot of publicity, free publicity.
Listen, come on. On a practical basis, what do? Do you knock on the door of Cosmopolitan magazine and say, "Look, here's my sex toy. Can you publish it?" I mean, how did it really work out? Come on, how did you do that? I don't understand. Tell us how they came to you.
They came to me.
Can you illustrate the story? Do you remember the first time?
Yeah, the very, very, very first was Maxim. I sent out a whole lot of invites to, like journalists from all the fashion editorials.
How do you send the invites? Do you send it by post?
I sent it printed, one little picture of one of my pieces, inviting them to my MA degree show. And from then, one just led to another. Because of the one that I would get, another and another. And actually, I was in a small write-up in ID. Okay.
Let me just pause you here. What was in the invite?
Nothing. It just said the time, the date, my name, a picture of, it was a postcard.
What was the picture?
My Black Russian, well, one of my manufacturers calls it a Black Russian, the black limited edition glass piece, which is gorgeous.
Can you show us that? Do you have it here?
No, because like in the last part of the interview, I made 5 to 5 different people, and once they're here, they're sold because they're usually for somebody. So I don't keep stock of my limited editions, but it was beautiful. It's like a black sheet of glass with a slithering, something that looks a little bit like sperm, but not vulgar enough to, not that there's anything vulgar about sperm, but it looked more like a snake, but it had that feel, with a beautiful silver stand. And it's a limited edition of 100. So I took a picture. I had a picture of that taken. Didn't pay for that either. An amazing photographer helped me. He had a studio. It was digitally shot back in those days, which was quite high tech, which was 1998 or so. And went out to high-end fashion magazines. They all came. But not that they all came. A few came. And because it was in ID, and then because it was in one, that's fashion. It just gets into another and another and another. That's it. And then I got into Selfridges, and I got into Liberties, and I got into Ann Summers too. But Ann Summers didn't really work for me.
Yeah.
Not,
Did you make more than £5 million on that?
I'm not telling you. I said I wasn't discussing money.
Okay. We're not going to discuss money.
You want to see my choker because I got it here. It takes a while to put it on. Let me know if you want gold or blue, but we can move on.
Yeah, let's see that. What are you going to show us here?
Well, the blue one I couldn't seem to find lead, but this is one of my.
Okay. This is an exotic sort of African design style choker, right? What is it?
This is choker. It's amazing. So something like this you can wear out in the day, and it's just got this sexy little ring, and that attaches to a lead, which is pretty gorgeous. So it matches the strap on exactly, but that's vegan. So sometimes I use vegan, and sometimes I use real leather. This is vegan. I'll actually put it on, and then I can show you. This one's got a lead. It's a case of I prefer vegan, but I'm not anti-leather at all, because it's really hard for small manufacturers like me to sometimes get small quantity supplies, in a couple of hundreds, using vegan, believe it or not, because leather is more accessible. So also sometimes, and also the vegan has to be beautiful like silk, because for me, it's really important for my customer to have the, that feel. I'm not exactly a slave type girl myself. I'll put this on for you.
You're more of a dominatrix, we would say.
I didn't say that. I did say that, but I am, but not in the, you see, gorgeous. So basically, I'm trying to work out which side is, you see?
I see.
They for divas, my stuff, and you get many slave divas. You do, believe it or not, you do. You get slave divas. So they for the lipstick lesbian, that is, and maybe her lover, who is less lipstick than her, would buy it. But otherwise, my strap-ons are more for the, dyke type, but not necessarily, because the lipstick lesbian would still wear it. So there's role play within role play, which is amazing. And with my strap-ons, I designed something which would turn around the concept a little bit, because you saw all this butch. Not that there's anything wrong with butch. It's very sexy. It can be very sexy, but you saw this type of butch black garb, and that doesn't mean garbage. That's garb. It's short abbreviation. And I just wanted to do something which was more beautiful. My mother was a ballerina. She was a professional ballerina. So was my grandmother. And I danced for a long time. And I actually visioned, because I did like a pink ballet inspired one that you could even see it maybe on Swan Lake, an alternative Swan Lake, with the beautiful pink dildo with the gold flowers and the embroidery at the back. My first strap-on was in pink. And then I did an array of colors. But it's almost like a twist, so that it's not your obvious type of, sex toy or BDSM outfit. That's been done. So I'm never going to do what's been done. And I was the first two in the world to make something as feminine as that strap-on, the very first. So again, that got more of an audience because it was a twisting of the mind. It's like, well, why not? Why can't a strap look like a stunning piece of lingerie? There isn't one. So I was the first to do that too. And, I always try to see something from a different angle when I design, so that I put out something new. it brings in new clientele as well. A lot of male purchases as well, because obviously it's very beautiful and they envision it on a woman, you know. Some of my most exciting sales have been trans. And to be honest, I'm not sure if they were trans or they were just cross dressers, because the strap, the dildo wouldn't be in the exact right place. I don't ask, you know, they love it and so they buy it. But generally that's not my client. My client is lipstick lesbian, or the dyke who buys something for his her lipstick lesbian, and or male, or a dominatrix. And then the dominatrix could actually say, well, to somebody else, please buy me that, that, and that. But that doesn't usually happen. They're usually buying it for themselves, interestingly enough.
Have you ever been to Peru and witnessed the ancient collections of sort of objects that, you know, are of the same shape as what your designs are, you know, the penis shape?
Well, none of my designs are actually very penis shaped if you look at them. There's only one, and it looks like a pink or a red carrot. It's the minx. None of them are actually, including my butt plugs, which don't even look like what they are. But no, I haven't been to Peru. Not at all. It wouldn't be my first choice in South America either.
Where would you go in South America?
Oh, well, where would be my first? I'd say Costa Rica would be my first choice, and Brazil.
Why?
I don't know. For me, they just seem like more of a celebration of female sexuality. Brazil and Costa Rica, it's apparently absolutely gorgeous. So I'd be inspired by the nature. I'm sure Peru is too, but it's a bit more, don't know, commercial type, Thailandy. I could be wrong, but it doesn't, you know, it doesn't call me as much. The favorite place of all time that I've ever been is Cuba. I love retro. I absolutely love retro. So, you know.
What was the attitude towards women in Cuba? And your sex toys? Did you ever sell any sex toys in Cuba?
The women in Cuba they party animals. The women in Cuba, I mean, dance is the currency in Cuba. Dance is the currency. And like me, they seem to live for today. I am a future person, but for me, it's kind of, it's wrong. I mean, living for today is the best way to live. And I try to do that more. I try to do that more and more. So when you're in a place like Cuba, where they can't go anywhere, they can't really get out of Cuba. They dance, they party, and they dance so well, and they're so educated. Wouldn't think they're so educated, and they're characters on every corner. Old ladies sitting on the stairs, rolling, you know, cigars, and I love jazz, and I love you go into like bars. Every single bar has some band playing there that you think they're the Bona Vista Social Club. I went long ago, but I'd love to live in Cuba.
Do you think your sex toys would sell well in Cuba?
Yes, I do. Because they love the butt. And a lot of my sex toys are about the butt. More so in Brazil.
But tell me about the butt. I mean, what kind of sensation do you get when that is utilized?
The what?
The butt.
It's utilized. I'm not telling you about that. I'm not telling you about that.
What do you hear from others? What do you hear from others?
I don't. They don't report back to me. They don't report back. You know, it's actually, I can tell you something about my clients. They're very classy. Very. I've got the classiest clients, I think, in the world. They're very classy. They don't, and I haven't been hit on very often at all. It's happened through clients maybe one time. and he was very wealthy, and he thought he could hit on me. And he wasn't Western, but that shouldn't make much difference at all. But generally, they buy and they try. And a lot of arty clients, a lot of my clients buy pieces of art, and they're fascinating. They will take pictures of the pieces on their own in and around their homes. The most beautiful pictures sometimes. Sometimes if the pictures are surrounded by fruit or, you know, they want to look arty, they're not quite right. And I tell them directly from an art point of view. But sometimes they're just so gorgeous, beautifully displayed in penthouses, and that's it. It's about it. Or they tell me that I've done so much for their lives that they'll never know. And I can't believe it. When that's happened a few times, mainly with women, once or twice. Amazing. I have a lot of repeat customers because unlike Ann Summers, I may not have the budget for Lelo or a huge SEO. So the customers I get, they practically buy my whole website, which is amazing. But I better start the SEO.
Yeah.
I've invested nothing.
Can I call you back in 10 minutes? I'll send you another link, and then we'll do another 10, 15 minutes if that's all right.
Yeah.
I have a few more questions from audiences, and we're running out of Zoom time.
They better not be hot. Okay, see you then. Bye. Bye.
This podcast is sponsored by Camera Museum of London and Tang Cigars at 44 Museum Street, London. Thank you for listening to a Fish Out of Water podcast. This is your host, Richard Lipman. Should you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please get in touch.